Oh, well, that's a great start. There we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Coin Drop Podcast. This is beta episode number 19. I think we're getting pretty close to launching into full release at this point. I don't know. I think we pretty much got our flow down, I think. So, Tim, how's your week been?
I feel like we've said that almost every episode past 4 or 5.
Yeah. There's some software I still want to get that I can't afford to buy right now, which is pretty much what's keeping us in beta. But once I have the spare money to throw at that software to make things a little bit smoother, then we will launch out of beta. How's your week been, though?
Been busy. Been trying to get the house on the market. Doing a lot of shit around the house, more or less.
Gotcha. Well, today we got some big news from THQ, right? A bunch of stuff got announced.
Yep, they announced, I would say, a lot of trailers that didn't show us anything about gameplay.
Unfortunately,
yeah. A lot of games that look good.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the first game they announced is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin. So I haven't got a chance to read those comics. I know we talked briefly and you said you were planning on reading them. Have you gotten a chance to look at them at all? I don't know if you just downloaded them or not.
I looked them up and read probably the first couple of pages. And
Gotcha.
Essentially the splash screen of what the comic's about, and that's stuff.
Gotcha.
Like I said, I've been quite busy.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, you had some speculation on this. I think you looked up some details, a description or something like that you had found somewhere that kind of goes into the details on the game.
Yeah, so yesterday when it was announced, Game Informer came out with their own article, which isn't exactly super forthcoming. They even straight up said that pretty much all that you get is this teaser trailer, good lord, trailer doesn't really show anything. If you know anything about The Last Ronin, which is a comic that came out in 2011, it's basically about the last surviving TMNT ninja, one of the turtles, and he's basically on a revenge mission to avenge his dead family. And it's definitely of a darker tone, and like I was saying about the teaser trailer, the only thing it really shows, it shows 4 candles, and they go out
one by one. Yeah,
one by one. There's like a background that kind of changes a little bit here and there, but it doesn't give anything. So anyways, speaking on the topic of this game, the Game Informer more or less stated that apparently the Paramount Global, this is where I'm confused. The game was announced yesterday, but their article states that the senior vice president of Paramount Global did an interview with Polygon back in March. And they're stating that this information, what I'm about to read, was said back in March, but the game wasn't announced yet, so that's where my confusion is. But in any case, they say that it's going to be a single-player action RPG similar to the modern God of War series, which has my head freaking stoked for the game. Even if it doesn't quite play like God of War, my hope is more of, like, say, a Ghost of Tsushima type game, given the aesthetic similarities. They also state that it will have that more of a mature tone, which doesn't confirm an M-rated game, but maybe. It'd be really interesting to see the what's the word I'm looking for? The concept art that they show is they show one of the turtles standing against 3 robots that are lunging, or 4 robots rather, that are lunging at him.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would imagine there's going to be dismemberment, but probably not of living things.
Yeah, I'm looking up Black Forest Games right now. I know we had briefly talked about they did the Destroy All Humans franchise and stuff like that. I'm trying to see if they have anything in their past that's a bit more of a mature take that might lead. I say a Fade to Silence. I don't know what that is, but that looks like a more mature game. Rogue Stormers. They don't have a whole lot, to be honest here.
They're a relatively new studio. What I mean by that is they haven't really worked on anything. I think this is the first game that they've made that is actually a new game. I'm pretty sure the majority of what they've done has been like ports or enhancements and those things.
So Fade to Silence is an RPG, survival RPG. Looks interesting. I'm gonna pull it up on Steam to maybe get a look at it.
No.
What's up?
You don't. when we had the website, actually, they gave us codes to this game.
Did they?
Yeah, and
Oof, it's $7.49 on Steam. It must. Ooh, mixed reviews. Not great.
oh, it's very much a survival game in the vein of Conan Exiles, and that's what
Got it.
has a story, however. But the thing is it just there's so much about it that's not well put together. It's a survival because you're in the snow, and there's these
Sure.
like, tendrils and stuff coming out all over the place, and you have to try and figure out exactly how to collect materials and build your base and things of that sort. But it was just so poorly put together that you're going to be running around trying to find things to heal with, and then you're going to run into monsters and stuff like that on a frequent basis, and it's just not optimized, not balanced. It's just not fun.
It's got sled dogs in it, though. That's pretty cool.
I remember like forcing myself to play it.
Oof.
I think it was something like 15 hours, so I could at least get a half decent review for it. And I finally put it down. Like, I can't play this anymore. I'm actually pretty sure I stated in my review that I just couldn't. I couldn't. Yeah, it's a bad game. So,
well,
going back to that makes me kind of worried about this new one now, but maybe.
That is a mature rated game, confirmed on Steam that it did have an M rating, so that'd be cool. I'm curious. I would love to see this game end up being a stealth game, because it makes sense, the Ninja Turtles, but the comic arc is also called The Last Ronin, and Ronin is usually a term associated with samurai, so it could... I'd be okay with it being like somewhat stealthy or yeah. I mean, it's I don't know. I want it to be a stealth game because I'm biased towards stealth games, and I think there's not enough of them out there that are good. But it also looks very action-y, hack and slash. And if they said they're going for something God of War veiny, I would imagine that'd be combat style more than anything, or maybe they're referring to it being open world, which also seems really weird for the comic art. Like, to me, this feels like it should be a linear game, not so much an open world game. But I don't know.
I wouldn't really call it. God of War is so like in between.
Yeah, it's like a small open world with linear pathing. I don't know. Yeah.
I can see it being combat, but also kind of the way the world is set up. It's not going to be a massive open world, and it's going to be more linear. That just makes the most sense, like you said.
Yeah. Especially since it's a comic, right? Like when they did the Walking Dead comic Telltale game series, right? Like, they didn't base it off the comics, but it's set in the world, and it was set very linearly. Not saying that that's at all what this is going to be, but I feel like a linear direction would probably fit the comic of this a lot better, if that makes sense.
I mean, it's something that I'm so like they're Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
right?
But as you mentioned, Ronin is a Japanese samurai term.
Yeah.
However, in the what's the freaking word? The artwork.
Yes.
Yeah, the artwork. He's holding a samurai sword, so it's got to be Michelangelo. That makes the most sense. So maybe like that makes it even more plausible that the game is going to be very much like Ghost of Tsushima, where you've got the samurai feel for combat and things of that, but it's also stealth optional. It just makes the most sense, and given the fact that they've already quoted one Sony franchise, I don't know why they wouldn't take from another Sony franchise that's far more like their game.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. If we're gonna just try and speculate on who it is, again, I haven't read the comic. My guess is it's Raphael.
I mean, I'd be okay with Raphael. He's always been my favorite.
Yeah, my speculation is, or is it? Oh God, who's orange? Is Raphael orange or is Raphael purple? I can never remember.
Well, now you've got me confused, because I always like the orange one.
Yeah. Who? I can't believe I'm googling this.
Raphael's the red one.
Raphael's red. Okay, hang on.
That's red.
Raphael is red, Donatello is blue, is purple, Leonardo is blue, Michelangelo I think is I think it's orange.
No, Michelangelo.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
For some reason I thought Michelangelo was the blue one.
I think I always get that. I think I always get that messed up too.
Okay, so yeah, Michelangelo is the orange one for sure.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it now myself.
Yeah. My guess is it's him because canonically, I believe he's like the I believe he's like the
I
quote
should've known
unquote
that.
the younger one, right? So I feel
Yeah,
like if anybody was gonna survive, the other three were gonna try and like keep him alive, kind of thing. Yeah, so that's my guess is it's Mikey. But that's just my speculation based on like literally nothing other than like that makes sense.
So thinking about it just a second, like I said, the art shows him holding the samurai sword, right?
Mhm.
Well, so since the others are dead, that basically just gives the option for you to have 4 fighting styles in the game. He's got all of the different weapons for the different turtles.
Yeah,
And
because
so you
he's
can
got
kind of
his
channel each and
yeah he's got
change and-
yeah, he's got the size, he's got the katana, he's got the bow staff. I don't see nunchucks in any of the like cover art, but I'm sure he's got those too. So yeah, it could potentially set up to have. Oh yeah, they're right there, right on his back, right there in the end of the trailer.
So since it's a war ravaged New York, perhaps all the different turtles somehow got separated and died in different locations, and so you have to sort of like find the weapons. That way you don't have start with all of them. That way the gameplay can keep expanding as you're working your way through.
That would
starting with everything.
That would be a cool dynamic to do to it, and this trailer kind of lends something to that because the first one we see, it's just the headband floating, and then I think it's underwater is the first one, and then the second one looks like it's in like a structural collapse building, and the third one is just a ton of arrows that hit the dirt. So that could be like all of them get. Yeah, it sort of kind of seems like they all got separated, and you're recovering the pieces of your dead brothers, which is dark as hell already. Like that's just I don't know how you make this lighthearted because it doesn't seem like the comic is very lighthearted. So
if it's a mature tone, then honestly the lightest I can see it going, given the knowledge about what the comic is and the trailer as well, plus just the idea of it all, would probably honestly be like what I said earlier, would be the Twilight Princess. That one was a teen rated game, but it actually had blood and a darker story and things of that sort.
Yeah.
But I don't really expect it to go any lighter than that. And TMNT is known for its light humor and fun action and things of that sort. But The Last Ronin was probably the darkest of the series.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all for like futuristic, war-torn, kind of like post-apocalyptic stuff, which is kind of what it looks like based on that last image they give us, that concept art that they show. It looks like that's the direction they're going. So I'm pretty excited for it. I think it'll be cool. I just hope that I just hope they don't go too cartoony with the graphics. Is kind of my own thing. Like,
yeah,
that wouldn't jive with the more mature stylizing that they're doing. You know what I mean?
I'm not expecting hyper realistic like they did with the live action movies.
Yeah.
I'm not at all. I'm expecting sort of an in between, but I can see them going with, say, a cell shading that's not the Zelda cell shading or the anime game cell shading.
Yeah.
Kind of like between a dark one of those and a realistic. That way, you still get the gritty feel of it.
Yeah, I could see like a Scanner Darkly style cell shading, which is a movie, right? Like that's an old movie, but it's not a video game. But like it was very much like, I don't know, gritty, I guess you could say. It was like a film noir mixed with cell shading. It was very cool artistically.
Yeah, I have heard of that. I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's a good film. If you get a chance, you should check it out. I don't know where you can watch it this day and age. It's so old at this point. Maybe it's streaming somewhere. But Scanner Darkly is a really cool movie. I was kind of thinking the same thing. Is like the Legend of Zelda style somewhere, not quite that cartoony, not quite that color pop, but maybe like their initial art for it that they showed way back when like they were very new into Breath of the Wild and it was just the next Zelda game. Because I think it had a little bit more of a realistic cell shading to it that I think would be cool with this. I would also straight up be like, I'd be 100% okay with this game being black and white with bits in color. You know what I mean? Like Blood Spray is in color or something like that, but like other stuff is...
You gotta be really careful with that.
Yeah.
There's a game that came out, I think last year for PlayStation called Trek to Yomi, and it was a side-scrolling game that was more black and white with a little bit of red and stuff here and there. And to be fair, actually looking at this concept art, there's not a lot of color in it. There's the red.
Yeah.
There's maybe a tiny little bit of brown and the fire, so you can see the yellow from the fire, but there's not a lot of color. So
yeah.
Who knows? I mean, the trailer's the same way. It's all black and white. So
yeah.
That would be an interesting aesthetic.
There
Which
was
actually makes me think about Ghost of Tsushima even more because there was a black and white mode that made it feel like an old school movie.
Yeah, you could add the film grade. That was the one game that I really enjoyed. Like the oh god, who's the guy that makes all the samurai movies? Damn it. Oh, he made Seven Samurai and all that kind of crap. Damn it. Anyways, it was made to look like one of his films. There was a game years and years and years ago that I feel like was a side-scroller ninja game that was black and white with, like, the scarf was red. I might be getting that mixed up with Shinobi, though. And, like, it might be jumbling up.
Almost sounds... You're talking about the scarf almost makes me think about... Journey, but that one wasn't black and white.
Yeah, and it was definitely a ninja game that I'm thinking of, but I don't remember what it was. It was black and white, had a red scarf, but I feel like I could be mixing that up with Shinobi, which wasn't black and white.
Yeah.
But any rate, I think it could do good if they, like, being black and white, you've got to do bits of depth in there, right? Like, you got to mix in the grays real good. And
so before you continue, the only reason I'm interrupting you here is because the actual trailer, like I said, the concept art's all black and white, right? For the most part. Well, if you watch the end of the trailer, the last like 3 seconds or so, they actually add color in. So if you go to the very, very end, the last second, it's all nice and colored in. So that point doesn't really stand.
Yeah, I don't know. I just hope they do something that's not super color pop. We'll see. I mean, that's literally the only minute we have of the trailer, so of anything. So
it's all teaser at this point. So it's pretty much speculation since they have all this shit.
Yeah, 100% speculation. Not even a release date. Just hey, it's in development. This could be Elder Scrolls 6 for all we know. Like we could be waiting till 2030 for this game.
Actually, with that said, if I'm not mistaken, he did say the CEO of Paramount Global did state that it's still years away.
Yeah. I feel like this is maybe not to the extreme of Elder Scrolls 6, but definitely
not 5 years out.
Yeah, definitely not happening anytime soon. Speaking of a game that I guess this is a bad segue. Had a lot of hype. Had a lot of potential.
Games where everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's happening! Oh my god, it's
Yeah, here's the So this is I've dubbed it the RDR non-R. It's the Red Dead Redemption non-remake. It's the soulless cash grab that Rockstar has decided to release that I think at this point everybody is aware of, because I'm pretty sure everybody who has the internet and has played this game is furious about it. For those of you who are audio listeners right now, I encourage you to check out our Twitch stream of this or watch it on YouTube on CoinDrop VODs after. I put together a custom trailer here. I misspoke last time we covered this topic. The trailer I put in last time was just an Unreal 5 engine. It wasn't a shot-for-shot remake in Red Dead 2. The one I have up right now is actually a splice that I put together of a shot-for-shot remake in Red Dead 2 engine of the original trailer. Not overlaid, but like cuts back and forth between the original PS3, Xbox 360 release and the Red Dead 2 shot-for-shot remake. And it's a staggering difference, even considering that Red Dead Redemption 2 is older at this point. Not old by any means, but older. And just, it's such a shame to see, like, they could have delivered this product had they wanted to.
I don't even know how to say it other than that, man. I mean, I've been following it, so I've been getting on X, not former Twitter. Stupid bullshit naming. Anyway, I've been getting on X a lot lately, so I can maybe try to tweet and talk to people and get followers. Anyway, it is extremely, overwhelmingly negative.
Yeah.
Everyone is so pissed off about this.
Yeah.
You could even look at the like to dislike ratio on YouTube for the game, which you can't just go there without an extension, but there's like 120 to 130,000 dislikes on the video, up to 38,000 I think likes, which they probably have 38,000 people working at Rockstar, so they're probably all like paid for them, my guess, because I haven't talked to a single person that's like, yeah, I get to play the game again.
Yeah.
Nobody, not a single person I haven't seen anything from anyone anywhere.
Yeah.
It's just, there's so much they could have done with this, like your trailer, you know, the game itself, like Red Dead Redemption 1 isn't playable in Red Dead Redemption 2. It's the world.
Right.
To be clear. They redesigned it in Red Dead Redemption 2 so you could kind of re-explore what you did in the first game.
Yeah.
And while that's probably the easiest thing when it comes to remastering an old project, considering you have to do all of the coding and the voice acting and all that other stuff, I understand that's the hard part that they didn't do, but they literally did nothing but make the game available on last-gen consoles.
Yeah. There is
Not
something. So there is something to be said about that. I think we touched on it briefly. You said like that gives the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S the ability to access the game through reverse, through backwards compatibility, right?
Before you continue, just for clarity, it's actually been available on the Series X via backwards compatibility,
right?
Because of, but that's the reason why it wasn't announced for Xbox Series. It was only or for Xbox One. It was only announced for PlayStation 4 and Switch. Like literally, the Xbox One isn't even getting a native version like PlayStation 4 is.
You still got to play the old version. Anyway, there is something that maybe. All right, I'm gonna give them Rockstar. I'm gonna give you an out. If anybody is listening to this that works at Rockstar, I'm gonna give you an out. Maybe this is a release for previous gen hardware, and they are working on an actual remake for current gen hardware. I've just given you your out. Rockstar. Take it. Get to work. Get to work.
This is the second release in a row for them that. Well, I mean, the game's not out yet, but it comes out in 5 days.
Yeah.
That it's going to be abysmal. I mean, it might play well. This actually isn't made by Rockstar, and actually, now that I think about it, I don't know who made the GTA trilogy, so that also might not be them.
Let's look it up.
Regardless, it's a Rockstar released game, and those were abysmal too, in all the ways. And if I'm not mistaken, a single person modded those games to look not like shit. But this game. I mean, they're skipping PC. It's for PS4 and Switch. That's it.
Yeah.
Xbox doesn't get it. PC doesn't get it. So it's a big fat middle finger to PC still.
Yep.
And they, like I said, they've done nothing. They're actually calling it a conversion rather than a remake or a remaster or any of that sort. They're not giving us better resolution. They're not giving us better FPS. They're nothing. It's just playable on PS4 and Switch now. That's it.
Yep.
Also, they're taking multiplayer out. You don't get multiplayer.
Yep. But you do get Undead Nightmare. So, I mean, I guess there's that.
I have to give them a tiny benefit of the doubt. It's probably one of the best DLCs that's ever released ever, so I gotta give them that. It's
a good DLC, but like that's expected, when you're releasing
for a 13-year-old game.
Yeah, that's kind of expected. You're gonna release the game with the DLCs. It looks like Grand Theft Auto Trilogy, the definitive edition, was made by Rockstar Games, Grove Street Games, and Rockstar North. So I guess it was a combination of those three. I don't know if Grove Street is just like a small company that does stuff for them. Don't know anything about them, but that's the three that worked on it. I'm assuming Rockstar didn't actually work on it, and their name's on it because it's their IP. But I couldn't tell you beyond that.
They probably just helped as far as like giving their advice on the game and making sure it stayed true to the original.
Right.
More like oversight.
Yeah.
I do know that this one isn't being made by Rockstar. I'm trying to figure out who the developer is. I've forgotten to look that up.
It's not Rockstar. I know that much.
I'm looking up old pictures of the GTA Definitive Edition, and it's that horrible scene. It's comparing the prequel to the remake, and it's that scene where he's sitting there talking to the chick, and she just looks like a sim. Like her bandana's gone. It looks so bad, dude. God, this game was such a clusterfuck. It's so disappointing what they did with that. So I'm not really that surprised that they fumbled this as well. I mean,
it's just like you said, it's a cash grab. It's literally nothing but a cash grab because it's not releasing on anything modern except for the Switch, if you really want to call that modern.
That's a stretch.
And it's releasing for the PlayStation, and for the PlayStation 4, but no enhancements, and it's going to be $50 without multiplayer. $50.
Yeah.
And the CEO's like, "Oh, that's a good price. It fits the market. You should lick my boots because I'm giving you something so good." This game should release honestly, legitimately at the value they're giving us, $20 and no more.
Oof! I wouldn't even pay that much.
Anything more than that.
I wouldn't even pay that much.
That's where I would begin to consider it.
Yeah.
It's 13 years old. It's a 30 FPS game. It's going to run at 720p best. Like, No. Everything about it, just no.
Yeah.
$20 is the only way that people wouldn't have been pissed. That's it.
Yeah. I don't know. Even that's too much. I'd pay. Wait, hold on. Let me just go to. Let's do this. Let's go to Amazon real quick, just for shits and giggles. Red Dead Redemption 1. Let's see how much Red Dead Redemption 1 is selling for. Selling for $30 new. I bet you GameStop has it for cheaper. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. Red Dead.
The PlayStation Network.
Oh, probably. All right, so they've got it is $9.99, my friends, on Xbox 360. For some reason, it's $19.99 on PS3, but still, that's too much. Like, to put that in perspective, right now, Red Dead 2 on PS4 is the same price as Red Dead 1 Game of the Year Edition on PS3. Though, no.
$20.
Yeah, $20 seems like too much to me. I don't know where the CEO is going. Like, yeah, it should be $50. I'm sorry, I can go buy the game right now for my PS3 for $19.99.
Yeah.
You didn't do anything to justify making this game a higher price.
Adding shit to the fuel fire. Which was an interesting way of saying that. The CEO, the Take-Two CEO, not even Rockstar, which actually, now that I think about it, the Rockstar's been rather silent on this. Like, they basically just like, this is going to be a shit show. We'll just shut up and let it fucking burn.
Yeah, it kind of seems like it.
My best guess. But the Take-Two CEO, Strauss Zelnick, 2 years ago, 2021, his exact words about ports are this. I'm not sure they'll be a bigger part of the strategy. However, remastering has always been part of our strategy, and we've done differently than the competition. We don't just port titles over. We actually take the time to do the very best job that we can, making the title different for the new release, for the new technology that we're launching it on.
Weird.
Literally none of that.
Weird.
Nothing.
Dude, it's just
no performance enhancements, no upgraded visuals, no new technology, nothing.
It's just so lazy that they didn't even just bother to remake it with Red Dead 2. All the models are there. You've got to do like half your job is done, right? Like, you've got the models, you've got some stuff you need to do. You've got to re-record voice lines and do all that, sure. But like, you've got the basis of the first game as a remake in Red Dead 2. And the trailer proves it. The guy shot it 1 for 1. I mean, I'm sure he added some mods here and there, but still.
Just think about this. Even remasters, like they used to be called on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One era, even those came with an FPS and a resolution bump, which was the laziest you could be.
Yes.
They're not even doing that.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, it's such a soulless cash grab that I really hope this. I feel bad for the devs because, again, it comes back to like, this wasn't a call made by the devs. It wasn't. You know, it fucking wasn't. This was made by somebody up the chain, and I think that's ultimately why Rockstar's probably been so silent about it. Is they're like, they probably pushed this out because they were told to, and were like, I don't want anything to do with this. I'm wiping my hands from it, and I'm walking the fuck away.
They're desperate to focus on GTA 6 and nothing else.
Yeah. They're just like, fine, here you go.
I mean, to be fair, even Rockstar has been doing kind of shitty lately. Like, come on now, Red Dead Redemption 2 has sold something like almost 60 million copies, which is more than just about any other game in history, other than like Tetris and Pac-Man and stuff. It's a single game, by the way, not a franchise. A single game. Red Dead Redemption 2 has sold almost 60 million copies, and they've already abandoned its online development. And what I mean by that is they've abandoned big updates. They're not going to release any major DLC or anything like that. They're going to release minor things to fix it and maybe keep you interested with this small thing here and there. But it's not GTA where they're releasing constant new shit on a frequent basis. So
it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th. It's in the top 10. Minecraft is top selling worldwide. GTA 5 after that. Tetris, Wii Sports, surprisingly. 4th is PUBG of all things. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Super Mario Bros, and then Red Dead Redemption 2. Browse. So it's
Mario Bros. They got big ones.
Brows. They got massive brows. It's top 10. It was not a bad selling game. I mean, it didn't to do GTA 5 money, but it's still like, God, not even half. Like, it's less.
Literally the only thing they had to do with their Redemption 2 online was carbon copy everything from GTA, just put Western skin on it.
Yeah.
But they didn't even do that, which I can give them credit because they were trying to do stuff original for Red Dead Redemption. But instead of when it started to fail and not make a lot of money, instead of doing the easy thing, which would have guaranteed money, like obviously they couldn't port everything over. There's a lot of guns,
Yeah.
cars and boats and things like that that obviously you can't do anything. But like most of the content, like most of it could have been brought over with a new skin.
Yeah, owning a house, owning a business, running a gang. I never bothered to play, like, I think I played briefly Red Dead 2 online with you. I think very briefly, and it was very bad.
At launch it was pretty terrible. It was in a horrible state, but over the course of the years, it actually became really good. It actually had a new storyline involved in it because you're actually building your own gang in it.
Right.
And it was actually had a lot of worth playing, and they kept giving you additional missions and stuff to do to keep you interested. But to my understanding, the way they monetized it was actually mostly good for the players in the sense that they didn't nickel and dime everything, but that obviously made them little money, so they're like, oh well, I guess we'll not do it anymore.
Yeah.
Let's not fix that. Let's just.
To be fair, GTA 5 online started awful too, and then they actually invested the time to make it great. So like, I mean, the first 3 years of GTA 5 online, they kept saying, "Oh, heists are coming, heists are coming, heists are coming," and then heists sucked. So you know, but it's so disappointing to see a development studio, especially a CEO like the guy at Take-Two, who had such a firm stance on not just making ports, and then 2 years later he turns around and does this. Just really.
Yeah, it honestly makes me wonder what development studio that's been around for, let's say, more than 15 years, which one hasn't fallen yet? Like all of the big ones, from BioWare to Diablo, not Diablo, but Blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
Blizzard's fallen pretty fucking hard too.
Yeah, their recent scandal with Overwatch. Yeah, Naughty Dog too. But Blizzard's recent stuff with Overwatch isn't great, and then just their business stuff a couple of years ago wasn't great. I mean,
Pokemon Studios, like I can't think of a single one that hasn't like done some fucked up shit and just been either stupid decisions or fucked up decisions. Like, I can't think of any.
So
maybe like the guys that made Ghost of Tsushima, not Insomniac, but Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
Which I don't think they've been around quite that long.
They haven't been around long enough to make mistakes. I would say, you know what? Out of all the publishers / devs, I think Ubisoft is the only one that hasn't really made a big misstep. And I think that's only because their missteps came early. So Ubisoft didn't really start to see success until they did Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. So like they started out really rough. And yes, there are some Assassin's Creed games that suck, but like from a consumer standpoint, they didn't do anything that like Unity was a fucking mess of a game, but it wasn't. I think
what you can say with them is that instead of them, I would agree with you. They did make a lot of mistakes early on, but my point being is that they course corrected appropriately with their fuck up. They basically said, "Oh shit, we got to do what these fans want." Obviously, in such a way that's not stupid, because there's a lot of dumbasses out there that tell people to do things stupidly.
Yeah.
But basically, they listened and made appropriate course corrections, while everyone else just doubles down like this fucking idiot CEO. And like, yeah, this is good.
Yeah, I don't know what in his mind thinks that a game that is currently selling for $19.99 new on the previous tech is worth $50 on still previous tech. Like, that's beyond me. I don't get it.
The PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 and series are almost 3 years old at this point.
Yeah.
I can see maybe not supporting them, kind of ish, because of backwards compatibility, but like, no.
Yeah. It's a dumb choice, and I hate to say it, but I hope they suffer for it, and I know they're not going to, because no matter whether no one could buy this game and it won't hurt Rockstar at all. It just won't. They make so much money from GTA Online. It just doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. So you could argue that this was made specifically for the fans, but I don't think any fan is going to buy it because there's no reason to.
So just a perfect example, like you said, it wouldn't hurt them. It wouldn't hurt them in any way, shape, or form. After COVID hit, so a couple years ago now, GTA 5 has earned them almost $8 billion.
God damn.
GTA 5.
God damn. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess that's all there is to say there. Basically, like everybody else on the internet, Tim and I are just as upset as all of you listening, as everybody else. I gotta be honest though, when we talked about this 2 episodes ago, if you go back and listen to that, when Tim says that it's also coming to the Switch, I did say, nah, this is just a soulless port cash grab, and damn it, I'm pretty upset I was right.
I was hoping you were wrong.
I'll be honest, I was too, but I'm not surprised I wasn't, unfortunately. Now let's move on to a different game that does have a lot of potential, and dude, honestly looks really solid. The new Alone in the Dark. We got some trailer, we got some gameplay, we got some good stuff from THQ on yesterday during their press conference. And this might be hard to believe, but everything you're seeing is all in-game. I actually, this morning, well, this kind of afternoon, played their prologue, and man, it looks great, but it made my 7900 scream. So, very graphically intense game.
So, I haven't looked into this, so I have no idea, but is that dude from Stranger Things?
It is, yeah. That's Bill Hader, or David Hader? David Hader. Hader?
Nope, David Hader's the voice.
You're right. No, what's his name? Yeah, you're right. Anyways, what, fucking, god damn it, what is his name? Yeah, I'm googling it because I'm fucking retarded. David Harbour, that's what it is. I was close. David Harbour. Yeah, great actor. He's gonna do phenomenal in this role. They're legit. Like, this is how you do a remake, Rockstar. Just take some notes.
Yeah, right?
Take some notes, guys. Yeah. Sit down and scribble some notes. Go ahead.
With that said, didn't you play the prologue?
Yeah, so the prologue's super fucking short, like 10, 12 minutes at most. Yeah, it's tiny. Very cool, graphically very impressive. You play as Grace, and it's actually on Steam right now. You can get it, it's free. It's a very small game, but it's also, here's the important thing, it's also a hardware test, right? Because you're playing, go ahead.
The only reason why I'm about to say something because I'm reading one of the announcement trailers or whatever, and it says the second playable character is Emily.
Right.
Grace.
So Grace, the prologue is you don't play as either of the main characters. So it's literally a prologue to these characters showing up. You play as a girl named Grace who takes the letter from Emily's uncle, which is the reason these two characters go there in the first place. David Harbour's character is a PI that's hired by Emily. They go to find out what happened to her uncle because something's happened. The prologue is you play as Grace, which is just another person that lives in this, I guess, sanitarium. It kind of seems like it's a sanitarium. Kind of doesn't. Like sanitarium light, I guess, like home for people that are slightly insane, maybe, I don't know.
like Outlast before all the demons,
right? Yeah, before it went super crazy, I guess. So you play as her, and he's all freaking out trying to send this letter to Emily, and he's like, I don't want to give it to the postmaster because maybe he won't mail it because maybe he's super paranoid. And the girl's just like, yeah, here, I'll do it for you. So she takes it, rewrites the envelope, and then you play as her, basically walking through the mansion. You can interact with some things, and you go downstairs, and it kind of ends after the mansion switches and becomes all like HP Lovecraftian horror kind of stuff. Very cool prologue. But like I was saying, the nice thing about it is because it's on Steam and you can play it right now, you can test how well the game is going to run on your system right now, because that is part of the game. Like, that is literally, that's the engine, that's everything, right? So like, it's almost more of a hardware test.
Did they say that?
It's not something you're probably going to play in the game, but it is like, that's the engine, that's the graphics, that's what I mean by it's part of the game.
Well, the only reason why I'm saying is because sometimes they'll release almost like, not necessarily vertical slices, but they'll release something that's, what do they call it? It happens with MMOs a lot, where they'll give you like a stress test you can download and kind of test how your computer's going to run.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But what I was going to say is that sometimes these demos aren't actually the game, and that it's not quite a stress test for your computer. But I guess It just really depends on what they said.
Yeah,
You're probably right. You're probably right, honestly.
I don't know what they said, but looking at like the gameplay trailer that's playing right now and playing what I played earlier, it looks very close. Very, very, very close. So I would say that it's highly likely that like it's not a bait and switch kind of situation. But yeah, I'm super excited for it. I was a big fan of the 2008 re-release or remake, I guess it was, which was kind of a sequel.
PS3, wasn't it?
Yeah. Super fucking hard game. Super hard. I don't think I ever beat it. I don't think I ever got very far into it either. But this is like a legit remake of the original, and they actually had the guy who made the original helping on this team. So it's very, very deep, and the guy's like, yeah, I totally believe that this franchise is in good hands, and trust that the game's going to be what his original envision was.
I actually don't think I've ever played a Alone in the Dark. I've looked at them many times over the years, but I haven't actually ever played them.
Well, they're all on sale right now. THQ is doing a sale on Steam, and the Alone in the Dark anthology, I think, is like $7 for all 4 games. I'm going to tell you the first 3 are rough, buddy. They are old, and they show it. They were some of the first games to go into the 3-dimensional realm, so that kind of gives you an idea of graphically what you're going to see. Yeah, it's not pretty by today's standards, but technically impressive, right? Because at that time, being able to do what they did was not a very common thing.
What era did you say? The PS1?
I think it was. Yeah, I think it came out PS1. Alone in the Dark, because it was early 90s.
Yeah, so that would be accurate, because I, for whatever reason, earlier was looking through my games list installed on my PlayStation 5, and I saw Legend of the Dragoon, and I'm like, you know what? I feel like turning this on.
No, way before.
Boy, oh boy.
Way before the PlayStation. Came out in 92. It was on 3DO.
No, PlayStation.
It was on 3DO, interactive multiplayer. It was on PC 9800 series, FM Towns, DOS, MS-DOS, Acorn, Archimedes, and classic Mac OS. So it didn't even come to consoles.
Well, that's kind of interesting. I only say that because the Legend of the Dragoon released in 1990, so 2 years prior.
Interesting.
So PS1 was a thing.
Huh?
It just skipped the console for some reason.
I think at the time I don't know. Yeah.
PS1 was still new at the time.
Yeah.
So maybe they were just trying to weigh their options, and PS1 wasn't. So Sony PlayStation wasn't the powerhouse that it is now.
Right. Yeah.
People were still skeptical.
And it was it was made as a 3DO and a PC game. Fucking DOS. That's funny. Yeah, but it's on PC. I've been considering going back to play the first one. The original creator of the game, he's in this video that is rolling right now. I actually cut a lot of stuff, but he said in the actual full trailer that you don't have to play the original game, you don't have to play any of the games prior, but if you did, you're going to notice a lot of crossovers, a lot of hints to it, a lot of nods to it, that kind of stuff. So
did they say if this is a reimagining as well, or is it just more of an expansion the way Final Fantasy VII was?
I'm pretty sure this is a complete reimagining. So I don't know that they said that it was a 1-for-1 remake. I think they're going kind of the Final Fantasy remake route, where it's a reimagining of the game and they're trying to do something new, but still stay true to the original story, which seems pretty accurate. But yeah, it comes out soon, like real soon, and it looks cool. If you like Call of Cthulhu, The Sunken City, if you like H.P. Lovecraft, you're probably going to like this game, because it has a lot of arcane kind of occult horror in it, and a lot of monologuing. They talked about the music that they used, and they actually used I don't remember what the term of the music was, but it was a literal type of music designed, a type of jazz that came about as a result of noir films. So, like, it fits perfectly into the noir setting because the brand of music was inspired by noir. Yeah. So it's just like a natural fit.
So just for those interested, the game is releasing on modern platforms, not including the Switch, i.e. PS5, Series X, and PC,
Yep.
on October 25th. So yes, it's very soon to be released.
Yeah.
And from what I can tell, you can actually download the demo on your system of choice.
Yeah, that makes sense. Since the prologue's available on PC, I would imagine it's available on the others as well.
I saw that it was available on PlayStation 5 as well, so there's no reason it wouldn't be available.
Yeah. It looks great. The tech demo, the prologue, whatever you want to call it, it's very short. Tim, if you're interested in it, I recommend checking it out. It's very short. There's like one quick jump scare and then a couple other things, and you can interact. There's some interesting paintings on the walls and some interesting stuff to like see. But overall, I mean, yeah, what you see on the screen right now is basically gameplay. Always, it's incredibly gorgeous.
It looks like it's going to be kind of like a Silent Hill 2, almost competitive, but like not necessarily. You know, like one of them's the horror and the aesthetic are different, but still it looks like it's going to play very similar. So if you like one, you probably like the other.
Yeah. They did say that it's a little bit action, a little bit horror, a lot of puzzles, a lot of like clue finding. Like it's a noir film, basically, just an occult noir film. So if that's kind of your jive, you're probably going to like it. If not, you probably won't. But it seems like it's a great game for Halloween, in my opinion.
Yeah, sure. Especially if it releases just before.
I think that's going to about wrap it up for us. Tim, do you have any final thoughts before we move on over to our Patreon exclusive side?
Just to let everyone know, we're going to continue the conversation on THQ's announcements. If you'd like to listen to them, hop on over.
Yeah.
I haven't made this announcement in quite a while, but we're still giving away free games. If you want, just come to the Discord.
Yep. That's still a thing. Patreon's only $3 a month, guys. It's cheaper than a cup of coffee. Gets you our extra topics, gets you our backlog, you know, all kinds of cool stuff. Gets you a cool little colored title for when you join our Discord, if you decide to join our Discord. Yeah, just some fun stuff. Helps us continue to support this and buy the software I need to kind of make it better, mix our audio some better for Mike. I'm sure he'd appreciate if I actually bought that software. So, any rate, that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for listening or watching or however you're joining us here, and we will see you next time.